Chartrand flushed. No, signore. Imagine you had an 8-year-old son. Would you love him? Of course. Would you do everything in your power to prevent pain in his life? Of course. Would you let him skateboard? Chartrand did a double take. The Camerlegno always seemed oddly in touch for a clergyman. Yeah, I guess, Chartrand said. Sure, I'd let him skateboard, but I'd tell him to be careful. So as this child's father, you would give him some basic, good advice and then let him go off and make his own mistakes? I wouldn't run behind him and mollycoddle him if that's what you mean. But what if he fell and skinned his knee? He would learn to be more careful. The Camerlegno smiled. So although you have the power to interfere and prevent your child's pain, you would choose to show your love by letting him learn his own lessons? Of course. Pain is part of growing up. It's how we learn. The Camerlegno nodded. Exactly. 90. Langdon and Vittoria observed Piazza Barberini from the shadows of a small alleyway on the western corner. The church was opposite them, a hazy cupola emerging from a faint cluster of buildings across the square. The night had brought with it a welcome cool, and Langdon was surprised to find the square deserted. Above them, through open windows, blaring televisions reminded Langdon where everyone had disappeared to. No comment yet from the Vatican. Illuminati murders of 2 cardinals. Satanic presence in Rome. Speculation about further infiltration. The news had spread like Nero's fire. Rome sat riveted, as did the rest of the world. Langdon wondered if they would really be able to stop this runaway train. As he scanned the piazza and waited, Langdon realized that despite the encroachment of modern buildings, the piazza still looked remarkably elliptical. High above, like some sort of modern shrine to a bygone hero, an enormous neon sign blinked on the roof of a luxurious hotel. Vittoria had already pointed it out to Langdon. The sign seemed eerily befitting. Hotel Bernini. 5 of 10, Vittoria said, cat eyes darting around the square. No sooner had she spoken the words than she grabbed Langdon's arm and pulled him back into the shadows. She motioned into the center of the square. Langdon followed her gaze. When he saw it, he stiffened. Crossing in front of them, beneath a street lamp, two dark figures appeared. Both were cloaked, their heads covered with dark mantles, the traditional black covering of Catholic widows. Langdon would have guessed they were women, but he couldn't be sure in the dark. One looked elderly and moved as if in pain, hunched over. The other, larger and stronger, was helping. "Give me the gun," Vittoria said. "You can't just." Fluid as a cat, Vittoria was in and out of his pocket once again. The gun glinted in her hand. Then, in absolute silence, as if her feet never touched the cobblestone, she was circling left in the shadows, arching across the square to approach the couple from the rear. Langdon stood transfixed as Vittoria disappeared. Then, swearing to himself, he hurried after her. The couple was moving slowly, and it was only a matter of half a minute before Langdon and Vittoria were positioned behind them, closing in from the rear. Vittoria concealed the gun beneath casually crossed arms in front of her, out of sight but accessible in a flash. She seemed to float faster and faster as the gap lessened, and Langdon battled to keep up. When his shoes scuffed a stone and sent it skittering, Vittoria shot him a sideways glare. But the couple did not seem to hear. They were talking. At 30 feet, Langdon could start to hear voices. No words. Just faint murmurings. Beside him, Vittoria moved faster with every step. Her arms loosened before her, the gun starting to peek out. 20 feet. The voices were clearer, one much louder than the other. Angry. Ranting. Langdon sensed it was the voice of an old woman. Gruff. Androgynous. He strained to hear what she was saying, but another voice cut the night.